Hello everyone, welcome back to the Mushroom Musume. I did say I was gonna go ahead and try a different route. So I guess we're just going to click skip everything that we've already seen. So in this situation, we're gonna go ahead and that's different. Prepare the witch a comforting meal, test a selection of elixirs for quality, or organize a surprising understanding collection of keepsakes. Let's prepare a meal. Cooking was a simple affair, much kinder seeming than the rest. It was an easy decision for the recluse. What do witches like to eat? The recluse pondering this question, figuring that one could not go wrong with a simple meal of eggs and bacon. Arriving back to their meeting point, the recluse was excited to report their progress to the witch. Ah, very good. How kind of you. After quickly wiping themselves down, the recluse returned to their hut to the remainder of the night. Second day. I think this is all we can skip. Okay, so an old bottle of medicine that has been sat unopened, a glimmering music box, or your most used cast iron skillet. Oh, I think we might have skipped something. What am I doing again? Bring me an heirloom, something you will forever value. Okay. A glimmering music box. A soft, beautiful tune played through the jeweled box. It has been created to bring joy and beauty to all around, which you found admirable in theory. The recluse hoped that the daughter could have that privilege, to think she could focus on soft things like music, and to avoid dark, painful things in life. Bringing their prize back to the witch, she simply gave a smile. How perfect. After their brief detour to meet with the witch, the recluse resumed their normal day-to-day schedule. So it seems like each time maybe it's a little different. Remembering something bright that might suit her. So this is where we go. I'll go to the stony river this time just to see what will happen. Though underwater wasn't the first place most people thought for color, the recluse understood there were many shades that people failed to consider. They arrived to the nearby river, glancing to the glassy water to spy on a variety of small shining stones. Brimstone, an alchemical wonder, a strange, almost bloody stone. Garnet, lost heralds of begone storms. Marble, the proprietor of possibility. Or jasper, nature's canvas. I feel like marble will give a little bit more variety. Retrieving a small rounded stone, the recluse realized to be a chunk of marble. Unblemished, it seemed perfect for their daughter. On that surface, anything could happen. The recluse returned to the witch's hut, colored item in hand. I really love the color. She silently took the object, nodding her head to the recluse in recognition. This is when the payment. Pay me now. Pay now in wealth. They offered a coin purse to the witch and she took it wordlessly. After pocketing the whole pouch, she returned a single coin to the recluse's hand. This will be sufficient, the witch smiles. With the payment settled, witch simply smiled and handed the recluse a small pot. This is where we were told that the mushroom needs to be named, Mabel because of marbles. So, there you go. Chapter 2. Though the recluse was unsure of the specifics, she did realize it was important to heed her instructions. Care for the pot and the dirt and everything that lay within. So this is where we started to go ahead and take care of the child. Let's see how it looks like now. Nothing this time. Potted, acceptable. Okay. So this time we ended up without any money. You weren't able to finish everything you set out today, but you have time for one more chore. Finish a favor the village's leader asked you. Purchase new construction materials for your hut. Barter for some fine substances to better grow your daughter. You've already worked hard enough. Retire to the tavern. Let's finish the favor, because the other ones just seem like I don't have any money anyway, so... Here we go. Oh, we got 9. Okay, that's good. Doing favor for the leader is comfortable to you. It allows you flexibility while giving you some funds. Today is no different than usual. You herd some cats for the leader. In exchange, they pay you. How novel. Your task behind you and your daughter return home each do a nice bath and a simple dinner. A flock of hungry birds have been seen harassing your daughter recently. In fact, they become quite a nuisance. Ignore the birds. Buy some. Well, now that we have food. Oh wait, how much stamina do we have? Because last time I hunted them. Let's hunt because I think it gives her nutrients in return. Yeah. So we hunted and we gained nutrients. You wake up one morning to the sound of something moving in your home. Your daughter has grown a pair of sturdy legs. Let's see how it looks. Oh god, she looks very different. I was not expecting this. Okay, underdeveloped and childish. Let's go ahead and continue. So looks like she wants to help. Encourage her cooperation, spend time nurturing her environment, or motivate her to do something safer. Encourage her cooperation. Your daughter's development is doing better than expected, and you want to promote her helpful nature. You take extra time on your chores, explaining the steps and giving her opportunity to try new things. She doesn't actually help much, but you aren't sure if she actually understands you, and she clearly enjoys the experience. Decision being made, life continued. One evening, you hear a light knocking at your door. This is when the witch visits. I don't see any reason why it would be a bad thing for me to not let her meet her. Looks like a dry talk and they made a connection. There we go, just like last time. One evening, you discover many footsteps. Ooh, well, that's different. Okay, many footsteps outside your home, three-toed and webbed. Some strange creatures have been poking about. You heard the rivers of these woods are home to nefarious turtle-like creatures that capture human children, only to bring them home and drown them. Your child isn't human, but you feel the leer of envious eyes from the tree line. They know a precious daughter when they see one. By the looks of the tracks, these are quite young. Perhaps you can do something to frighten them away from your home. Purchase a magic ward, stand guard until they stop, hunt one of them, keep your daughters inside in the evening. How much money do we have? We have enough money. Let's do, because she already has mystic bonds, so she's going to be around magic a lot, so let's purchase the magic ward. There are always magic, market stall. Oh wait, did we leave her alone? Ah, shit. Wait, I hope not. I don't think we did. There are always market stalls to be found catering to the cautious and superstitious folk who want to deter evil creatures. You head into town to procure some charms, irregular pearl beads strung through worded strings, and quickly go about hanging them around the tree line. The ward seems to work perfectly as the footsteps and beady eye glare cease. Your daughter is safe, for now. Decision being made. Sometime later, one morning you notice that your daughter is nowhere to be seen. This is when she actually becomes a child. Okay, that's a little different. Despite the rocky introduction, your daughter is as civil as any human child now. Okay, so we go see her. She twitches in response to your probing and shifts into the earth covers her head. Wait for her to come out, buy her a present to insensitize her, dig her out. Let her just be, she technically is a mushroom, so your daughter seems intent on being underground, so you won't disturb her. After waiting for an hour, you decide to let her be and go about your daily tasks, occasionally returning to check on her. Later that day, you return to find her sitting in the clearing. The creature had now taken form of a young girl. The decision being made, life continued. Miscreants broke into your house while you were gone and made off with a priceless heirloom. After some searching, you find your daughter cowering under your bed. Chase down the thieves together, comfort her, she's clearly had a rough time, scold the girl for her cowardice, invest some security measures to ensure this doesn't happen again. Let's comfort her because that's a horrible place for the child to be. She's caring and calm. Yeah, we're gonna have to comfort her. You take your daughter in your arms and gently reassure the shaking creature. After some time, she calms down and is back to her usually pleasant disposition. Decision being made, life continued. Harsh weather has taken its toll on your garden and an entire harvest has been lost. Okay, this is where we decide. Times are tough, offer her daughter some old food, make your daughter tend to the plants, accept your loss for now, you can make do or tilled the garden. I really don't know Oh yeah, the only thing that we lost last time was stamina. So I feel like, yeah, that has to be it. I know that I'm supposed to choose something different, but I mean, it just doesn't make sense for me to choose something else. You haven't been taking very good care of yourself, and you find yourself worn out. You can continue. Yeah, this is what happened last time. Let's go ahead and stay in bed for the day. An end. One day you find yourself struggling to sleep. Your mind wonders if you consider your current place in life. Um, their daughter. Besides the affection you felt for her, like any parent would feel towards their child, that was normal at least. Your thoughts turn into concept of time, particularly how you were once alone and how you are afraid you will be again one day. Your daughter has had more curiosities about the outside world. It's only a matter of time that she goes her own path. This is when we switch over to her, the daughter, and a new beginning. Telling the recluse you wanted to see more of the world was an easy conversation. And this is when they made another house together, and we got the there she is now. Aww, common white chicken of the woods. Okay, woody, you possess a woody toughness and are particularly adorable for a mushroom. Animal friend, you have an endearing animal-like appearance. I guess, and I don't. A limited resource. This represents how much your body will have to comfortably give away. It also creates food when used. And then wealth, and that's all we have for her. And a note card. Reputation, relative obscurity. A lot of people won't know about you. Mystic bond and loving parent. Having taken a leisurely stroll one day, you sit upon a humble shack nestled upon the dense brush across the nearby river, and from the hovel bounds of symphony of music reverberating off of the trees. With curiosity grabbing hold, you saunter off to the beaten path, making your way into the water's edge. To your surprise, a ramshackle bridge extends across the water. Before you know it, you're face to face with the shack's rotting door. Knock on the door, reconsider, and leave. Let's knock on the door. You rap your knuckles on the door. After a while, a slight shuffling can be heard from inside. At length, the door opens, and you're greeted to the bewildered expression of a rather strange-looking crone. The figure is tall and looming, hunched over with the head with still a solid foot above your own. A hood veils their eyes, and where they are exposed skin, there travels only matted whiskers long since grayed. You notice their skin as the crone raises a hand in the greeting, gnarled and dark like the knot of a tree. As they speak hoarsely, churning out a polite hello, you catch the subtlest turn of voices intermingled from within, like an amalgamation of souls. It has been a long while since a visitor graced my doorstep. Would you like to come inside? Surely you have been drawn to the music, no? Since you can't say no, you're cultivated by the music. Without delay, you take the crone up on their offer and enter their home. They seem nice enough, and you get the feeling that their apprehension built up before has melted away. Plus, the interior smells like fresh jasmine. What better way to distress? The crone shows you the source of the music, a strange box at the very far end of the room. As they're showing off the piece, the music stops and the crone hits a small switch, shutting down the mechanisms. This is a xylophone, used for playing music off these cylinders. The crone fiddles with the machine, taking off a wax cylinder. This one is part of a suite, the final. The crone hangs their head low. Unfortunately, the rest of the suite is lost to me. Without missing a beat, you recognize the format of the cylinder and retrieve one of your own, black wax and everything. The crone pauses for a moment, looks up and down, and says, "Ah, collector yourself, eh?" It's hard to tell, but you believe a smile have cracked somewhere between the massive whiskers. If that's the case, you seem able enough. I tell you what, if you are able to collect the rest of the suite, I'll give you the finale as a gift. One cannot enjoy the suite without the full collection. You shrug. The offer seems straightforward enough. Without reluctance, you accept, much to the crone's satisfaction. Then, I would ask you to read a story, one that might glean the location of another cylinder. Would you be interested? It is, however, quite a long story, should you wish to do other things. Listen to the story, decline the offer. What's the worst that can happen? Yes. The crone stoops to in a place across from you, resting on what you assume to be their hunches. As they open the book, you feel enraptured, engrossed, enthralled. Before you know it, the words blend into a dabbling synesthesia that seemingly spirits you away to the land of story. As with many, this tale begins with a tragedy. An errant child, the child was exiled from town, branded with hearsay and derision. Let's look, nothing in the inventory. That's the kid. And this is his home. She bore no sin but that of her birth, specifically the eyes, smoldering pools of ceaseless violet. They were the same eyes as the Violet Witch, a malefactor who had been terrorizing the area for years. What was that? And as such, the kid was. I'm sorry, that really threw me off. The kid was cast from her meager home at a young age, branded as a cursed child. She would not know peace for some time, not until her body became frail, her throat burning, and her stomach gnawing. It was a recluse figure who, at length, figured. Wait, is that supposed to be us? Well, the mother, at least. It was a recluse figure who at length offered her shelter. One who lived deep in the western woods. It was the first time the kid would know peace, but peace was ill becoming of the time and ever fleeting. Despite the love and care bestowed upon her by her guardian, she could not stay. Fire came in that night. At first, it was deemed an accident, happenstance, but the attacks became indefinite frequent. As long as the Violet Witch roamed the land, the kid would know no sanctuary. She could only bring pain to those who would offer her comfort. And so, after a heated argument with her guardian, she forced herself to leave, lest they be caught up in the madness. The kid set off without preparation, carrying with her with a small smolder of conviction. Nevertheless, she was savvy, complete with a few well-honed skills needed for survival. It wasn't long before she was well away from home, out beyond the threshold where the similar woods fell away to shadowy hinterlands. Though according to the rumors of the Violet Witch, her manse would be less than a day's travel southwest. And as it were, there was 3 ways to go about heading there. The Galders Highway, which the kid had been talking dilapidated as it was. Oh my god, I can't read today. The old growth forest, as welcoming as it seemed, or as a gentle riverbank. They always say follow the river if you're lost, so let's just go ahead and follow the river. Looking to avoid any trouble, the kid decided the easiest route was to follow the river. It allowed her more light with the alternatives, with her being able to see quite well in the gloom. So well, in fact, that she spotted a glint of moonlight on the bank of the river, reflecting off a piece of what happened to be jewelry. Upon further inspection, it seems to be a talisman fashioned in the shape of a circle of the fairies. Holding it made the child feel something deep within her soul, but the catharsis swiftly fled. Before long, the talisman seemed like nothing more than a hunk of metal. Regardless, the kid stashed it away for safety on their person. Let's see what it says. Discarded Fae. Okay. It says talisman depicting a ring of 3 fairies. One holds a candlestick, another plays from the fiddle of a fife, and the third peers with gilded eyes. After a while, the man ceased over the neighboring hill, and she was beside the property as it was. Though she thought for a moment there was still enough twilight to search around nearby, of course it would not be worth it. Search the highway, search the old growth, continue to advance. Let's search the old growth. I feel like there could be something in there useful. Doubting back for a bit, the kid decided to check out the old growth. The dark harrowing woods didn't go for long before the glint caught her eye. There, buried in the trunk of a moss-covered tree, a knife stuck out, and from where its blade cut into the bark, an obstinate bud sprung forth. The kid needed supplies, wrenched the blade from the resting place and hooked it firmly about her waist. I guess we did pretty well. Pleased with their find, the kid returned to the manse and found its door to be unlocked. Feeling her stomach sink, the kid steeled her nerves and pushed onwards. The Violet Witch's manse was regal though disheveled. It didn't appear as though anyone had been home for some time, even if there was a distinct lack of dust on the surfaces. Very little furniture decorated the vaulted foyer. Exits on either side led to the library and the dining hall, while a sprawling staircase led into darkness overhead. Examine or travel? Let's examine. Jesus, there's so many things to look at. The welcome sign, the spotted plant, the grandfather clock, chandelier, suspicious corner. The suspicious corner would be very nice. A portrait of the lady of the house hung menacingly in the corner of the room, taller and wider than the full-grown adult, her eyes piercing into the kid's soul. Cut up the painting, do nothing. I kind of want to see what happens. Let's do it. The kid thrust their knife into the subjectively derivative piece of art and rent the canvas away from the wall. To their surprise, a fortified door with a magical seal preventing a passage lay just beyond. Upon further inspection, the seal seemed to be unlocked with a spoken password. Examine or travel? Examine. Welcome sign. A flat board made of cork sat on the wall, with the ceramic letters backed with pins pushed into the facade. It read, "Live, laugh, spellcraft." Okay, let's rearrange the letters, because I'm upset. With the little creature tinkering, the kid changed the sign to read, all life steal. Examine. Let's look at the potted plant. A pitiful wilted thing. The kid's first thought upon seeing the sad remark was to believe it be desiccated. Perhaps she was right. Examine. The grandfather clock. An ancient clockwork soldier tirelessly carrying on his duty without complaint. Something sinister emanated from it, and it felt a tinge of fear as the hands neared midnight. Let's continue to explore. Because I feel like that's when she'll be back. And intricate. Oh my god. A crystal chandelier hung down from the overhead. Its tether disappeared into darkness of the vaulted ceiling, but its light shone down in the flood. Channel the talisman to cut the tether. Let's see what happens. The child held up the talisman and felt their spirit swell. Before them appeared a small fairy who filtered up to the chandelier's tether and cut it loose. The resulting crash was deafening, but at least the child avoided getting cut up by the shrapnel. They just had to be careful walking around on the floor. I think there's one thing left, right? No, there's something else. Okay, let's travel to upstairs, dining hall, library. Let's go to the library. A vibrant carpet and luscious scarlet drapes helped to pull together a warm, rich environment within the hardwood library. The room stretched up far above, concealing into darkness just beyond mezzanine. Examine or return to the foyer. Table and chair, bookshelf, heavy curtains, mezzanine. What mezzanine? Far above, though before the shadows restricted her vision, the kid could spy a magazine. Mezzanine? Is this supposed to be magazine and just magazine instead? The library had a very very clear second floor that was inaccessible from the first. Examine table and chair. A comfortable table and chair duo tucked in the corner of the library. Mostly cast in shadow, it was hard for the kid to discern anything of note. Bookshelf. Along with the majority of the library's wall, a magnificent bookcase, as it were several books stood out notably to the kid. Read the first book, read the second book, read the third book. First book. The legends say that the first book of the kid had set aside was a political satire of the salacious rumors of some ancient kingdom's arrogant new king and his new, less than visible attire. Oh, really? The second book, the kid set aside a chronically an ancient grieving ritual wherein an icy queen untethered herself in a moment of desperation and fell into an endless slumber. Allegedly, the queen's frigid embrace can be felt on the wind atop of the tallest mountain. Third, kid set aside ended up being a cookbook of all things. The legends note that one recipe in particular that caught her eye: mashed mushroom mustard, supposedly quite savory. I think that's it. Okay, let's. Is there anything else I can examine? Heavy curtains. Blood red heavy curtains hung from high, obscuring the gigantic window. The kid, taking their knife, slashed out a piece of fabric, fashioning into a cape. Legends say she looked quite stylish. Examine. So now she has a little cape. I think that's it. Let's return to the foyer. I hate that you can't really see her. Oh shit, I did something. Travel. Let's go to the. Actually, maybe I can read what it said. In the foyer, very little furniture. Oh, I already read that one. Okay, great. Let's go to the dining hall. The dining hall was modest and cozy, though elaborate enough to define it as a place of sophisticated living. Tall windows lined the wall, looking out into the inky night, offering views of every seat along the extended table, traveling the length of the room. On the wall, a portrait of a woman sat crooked and around the corner. Sorry, I'm just making sure this thing is okay. A hearth stood up blazing beneath the bust of the stuffed boar. In the shadowy corner, a door led oh my god! into the kitchen. Examine or travel. Examine the dining room portrait. A tender portrait of the veiled woman cradling a silent, staring baby hung crooked in the wall. The kid felt unnerved. The baby had her eyes. We're gonna end up becoming the baby, aren't we? A roaring fire heated the room effectively. Through the beyond of the flames appeared to be a key. Explain. Boar bust. A taxidermy bust of the massive black bristled boar hung on the wall of the dining room. Its tusks looked ferocious enough to pierce steel plates, if not something stronger. Examine. Kitchen table. You know, according to the outside accounts of the kid's story, they said the table was made of real mahogany. Real mahogany. Do you have any idea how hard it is to source that stuff around here? I mean, what do we have, fur? Well, regardless, it was quite fancy, especially for the witch who appeared lacking in the inner desk department. Fine, I guess we just leave. There's nothing else we can really do. Let's go to... Oh, we can go to the kitchen. The kid entered the kitchen and found little interest, random cutlery and lingering smell of stale grease littering around the room. An oven attached to some counters along with the real side of the hearth crowded around the far side of the room near a door leading to the pantry. Okay, examine the oven. A standard brick oven, slightly unsustainous and certainly oversized. It doesn't seem like anything had been cooked in there for some time. Examine stone countertops. A slate countertop littered with cutlery. The kid couldn't glean anything of note. Let's see, rear side of the hearth. The kid looked into the hearth, realized that there was a key dropped in there, resting behind the flames. All they had to do was plug the key out, and they had access to the pantry. There's a lot of detail in this, and I'm just living for it. It's amazing. Let's go to the pantry. The heavy chime of the grandfather clock declared, "The time is 10 o'clock." The pantry was dark, cold, and musty, larger than expected for the large of the size of the manse. It nestled unsettling thoughts into the kid's mind. Examine rotten foodstuffs. A disgusting pile of rotting food that made the kid feel sick. There was no telling how long it's been sitting there. Servant's note. A small blooded piece of paper that maddening detailed a particular book within the library, and for some reason, whatever reason, did not explain why. Regardless, it piqued the kid's interest. They would have to check the shelves for the tome. A particularly savvy-looking rat. Oh, I really hope that they were going to put a rat up here. A large, rattan rat sat in the corner of the pantry, watching the kid. Hey, oh no. Hey, he's looking kind of thirsty sort. How's about an exchange, eh? You scratch my back, I scratch yours, capiche? Find me some cheese, yeah. This food ain't no good for anyone, no how. Get me a little goods though, and I'm liable to talk. The kid blinked at the rant before continuing on their rummaging. After all, who has the time to speak with the shifty, not to mention vermin? There's something else here. We already saw that, so let's go ahead and travel. How do we leave? Travel to the dining hall. Travel to the foyer, right? Yeah. So the guy said, well, looks like there's something in the library. So let's, I think, examine. It should be in the bookshelf. First book, the secret book. The kid opened a book expecting to find some boring scrap of information, but instead was greeted with the hollowed out center. And in the center was a key. Yes! Okay. We're getting somewhere. So, let's leave. What is the key for? I already forgot. I think it was something with the grandfather clock? No. Continue to explore. Why do I feel like something had a key? This one had something, but it was a spoken password. So, let's go upstairs. The kid found themselves in a, might I say, dramatically lit hallway. We're talking candelabra, stained glass, the works. The hallway only led two ways, downstairs, back to the foyer, and into the man's bedroom at the opposite end. Examine. Surreal portrait. I guess that's it. The kid studied the portrait in the hallway, and it was a familiar-looking woman, caught frozen in an expression of surprise, as though she had not expected acknowledgement. That's someone. God damn it. Okay, let's go to the bedroom. The kid, finally finding the bedroom, had taken a strangely intimate feeling of her surroundings. The room was quite inviolable. One way led to the personal lavatory, and the other way led to the library's mezzanine. With the only other way out being back the hallway, the kid couldn't help but take a gander around. Examine. The wardrobe. The large wardrobe sat with handles just waiting for the kid's fingertips to grasp, and within she found a marvelous cane, tipped in iron with the effigy of a hawk. I didn't even know we had all this stuff. So, a cane depicting a bird's bead, effectively a bludgeoning tool. Great. While blunt, it still posed a significant method of damage when swung. Examine the wardrobe. A large wardrobe, a large hardwood wardrobe sat devoid of any useful items. Polished vanity. A beautiful, simplistic vanity sat in the corner of the room. Inside a diary belonging to the lady of the house sat open, reading, "I fear I have fallen into thraldom. I mustn't forget the code of the altar. Mine own faith feels faint. I pray this omen near to affect my sweet child. Remember it. Remember the code. Ye tired wrench. Epilogue for the sake of thy daughter." Okay. A majestic four-poster bed took out the prominent space within the bedroom. When the kids searched it, however, they found a magnificent long sword hidden beneath the covers. Age had certainly gripped the blade, but it could still swing at least once. Okay. Lady's longsword, an ancient blade that has long since lost its luster. Its only companion, the long riding march of time. The icon on the hilt resembled an eye held tightly shut. A conspicuously well-preserved wedge of cheese. Admittedly, the kid was forced to take a double take. There on the nightstand, kept in perfect condition under a heavy glass lid, was a spectacular wedge of cheese. Perhaps she thought the man's had belonged to the chiromancer. Or a bored hobbyist. Regardless, the kid took the cheese because, quite frankly, she couldn't think of a reason not to. I mean, could you? No, I couldn't. Exactly. I don't think there's a person alive who could resist free, perfectly aged cheese like that. What was the trait? That's not a trait, right? Or just that we got cheese. Yep, there it is. Anyway, the kid took their grubby little fingers and kept safely in their possession. Examine. It's like this last one left. An armor stand in the corner. A mannequin in the corner of the room sported a particular attire, armor through ceremonial, as if meant to slip over regular clothing. A fold made of mirrored plates matched an oversized necklace of similar styling, while a set of gauntlets completed the fashion. As the kid donned the armor, they could feel a warding effect creating a appalling around them. On some level, despite the ornament nature of it, they felt more protected than ever. That was it. Let's go to the library's magazine. The library magazine felt decadent to the kid. Immaculate carvings made of the banister and intricate celebrambas. Oh my god, I can't read. A fuse of sanguine light between the stunted shelves. A magnificent window at the far end of the room was covered by blood-red curtains, trailing far below the ground floor. A fall from where they could have caused a grave injury to the kid. Examine the bookshelf. The kid pursued the shelves, finding a number of tomes that struck her fancy. Book 1, Book 2, Book 3. Book 1. The book... Okay. The first book the kid set aside lamented the journey of a lone light spirit. One who, even after death, continued to stand guard beside the frozen queen, who was the only one to have claimed his heart. 2. The second book the kid set aside poured over fantastic detail about how the best to host a dinner party when one's guests are beings from upper and other planes of existence. As it turned out, the key was an excessive stockpile of horseradish and can-do attitude. Okay. The third book the kid set aside laid on the steps of reforging the might and magic of the Lorn Sword. That was a blade at which power has been lost when the one who remembered it has passed on. A restorative ritual relied on several key items. An effigy of the faith once belonged to the weapon, a knife of the power of rebirth to draw and grip, and a new faith's blood upon the effigy, and the weapon and the question itself. There was however a catch. The ritual could only be done atop the altar of the weapon's faith. To exhume a faith as such, without first taking the first steps to show one's respect, was tantamount to blasphemy. So I guess we can do that with the sword. Let's return to the bedroom. We're going to the laboratory. The inside of the laboratory was fascinating to the kid. The Zuli walls coated every inch, ordinate tiling, and blues and whites accented the rest. Examine. So we have the toilet or the cabinet. Toilet, I guess. It wasn't much. A magical toilet. Any and all you have seen those... I'm sorry, what? A magical toilet? What does it do? A magical toilet. Any and all have seen one of those in their lifetimes. Why do your business in a hole in the backyard when magic can do all the transporting for you? Flush the toilet, do nothing. See, we flush it. The kid flushed the toilet. Magically, the water has whisked away, and in a similar fashion, it was refilled in the bowl. Truly a marvel of magical science. Nice. Toilet. Cabinet. A basic wooden cabinet. I'm just thinking about the magical toilet, apparently. A basic wooden cabinet sat at the end of the lavatory opposite of the toilet. Inside it held only one item, a single roll of extra toilet paper. Naturally, the kid took it, creating mischief in the realm of one's vulnerable activities brought to light to her that was rarely matched. Plus, toilet paper was remarkably flammable substance, and the kid understood that well. I think that's it, right? Yep. This is a very long story. I was not expecting it to be this long. She did warn me. Let's go to the hallway. It's 11 o'clock. Okay, let's leave. Let's go to the... Actually, is there anything else I can look here? No. So leave. Let's go to the foyer. And let's go to the kitchen because we have the cheese. That's the dining area. And to the kitchen. Was he not here? Or was he in the pantry? There we go. A large rattan rat sat in the center of the pantry, watching the kid. Hey, had some cheddar? How's about you hand over some of the scratch? All right. Now, here's a piece of advice for you. Get out of town before the clock strikes 12. To a peach. After that, it's bad times in the biz. And don't get too enamored on the clock in the foyer. And before you know it, hours time passed by. Before the kid could say anything, the rat scattered off. What a pal. Okay, so we already know the code. So let's go ahead and go back to the foyer. I think we have to go back to the dining hall. And then we're gonna go and look at the suspicious corner. There you go. The kid leaned forward, plainly speaking, epilogue, before standing back to watch the wall recede and the room behind it become exposed. Examine. The suspicious corner? The kid had managed to give the magical seed the correct password, revealing a secret passage to be explored. Okay, so travel. Go through secret passage. Behind the hidden passageway, the kid wandered through a brief, dark passageway before emerging at the intimate stone chapel ending at the occult altar. The statue depicting the lady of the house stood in the corner on a dais and pews lining the length of the nave. Okay, examine. The immaculate pews. A set of 6 hardwood pews that lined the way of the altar. Each looked immaculate and unblemished, save for one near the front. A singular seat had long been worn away. The aged statue. The kid marveled at the 10-foot-high statue upon the raised dais depicting the lady of the house. Legends say that the statue wore a ceremonial set of armor, branded with the long sword in her left hand and bandaged with a crest in the other. So is that what we need to give her, right? The kid, utilizing the information gleaned from the book, readied the items at the altar. Setting the discarded fay atop the stone baby, the kid gripped their knife and cut deep into her thumb, watching as buds took hold the top of the talisman in a small circle. Finally, the kid took the sword and plunged it hard into the sacrament. The babe underneath shattered, though the blade tip never pierced through the talisman. As the kid pulled the sword back out, however, she could feel the string pulsate from the blade. I think it's supposed to be blade. And noticed the eye on the hilt open. It feels like staring at a reflection. Galdr's grudge blade. Stored sword of the fractured bloodline. The hilt stares at you harder than you can ever back. I don't think we were supposed to do that. I guess that's it here. I mean, what else can we do? I guess it's just wait until. What's in the planet plan? I forgot already. Nothing. I think we just wait. That's the clock. Wait until midnight. Oh shit. I guess something has gone completely wrong. Give me 1 second. So, it seems like for some reason when this came out, the lady, I don't know what just happened. But it seems to be perfectly fine. I guess just something weird happened. In the foyer, the kid felt a horrid chill in the air. Suddenly she came face to face with the shade of the Mansis matron. Through the formidable opponent, it was nothing more than a poor witch's memories made manifest. There was no time to think. The shade saw the kid as an intruder and intended to make the consequences known. But the kid had no intention of going down without a fight. Oh, we're fighting! Enemy HP! The kid danced around, desperately trying to avoid cutting themselves up too bad on the broken chandelier. The kid thought briefly about what to use against the shade, pulling out her shaking cane, the budding knife, um, this one, the blade. The kid swung the legendary blade at the shade. The agony sent out of the beast was a symphony. It certainly felt that attack, its eyes catching the ridiculous arrangement of the welcome sign, and the shade stood for a moment in confusion. The kid wasn't about to let the opportunity pass her by. The kid thought briefly about what to use against the shade, about pulling out the blade. I mean, what else am I gonna do? The agony sent out the beast, but the agony sent out by the beast was a symphony. It certainly felt that attack. The shade initiated its share of combat by reaching high and striking down in an incredible claw attack. The passion of the fight has been ignited. The dance was afoot. The kid danced around, desperately trying to avoid being cut. What to use? The blade. What else am I gonna use? The shade hissed, whipping a miserable claw at the kid, connecting someone. There was no other path left to the kid, only fate could scry the outcome. The kid danced around, desperately trying to avoid cutting themselves up too bad on the broken chandelier. The kid thought briefly about what to use against the shade. The blade. Enraged, the shade shrieked so loud as it could, damaging the very psyche of the kid. It was down to the wire, a true contest of might. And then we can kill her off with a knife. The agony sent up by the beast from the symphony. The shade shrieked and moaned as the magic compromising it flittered away. All that was left of the missing glitter as a glittering shrapnel was the kid. The kid and a bounty of unanswered questions. The only thing left as a clue for her was a small precious stone left behind by the shade. And as the kid scooped it up in her palm, the stone warmed and glittered a bright green before fading at length into slumber. Regardless, the kid understood it was only the beginning of her journey. Where'd all my stuff go? Oh shit, okay. And such was the kid, forced to come to terms with the many disquieting thought upon the return trip home. Dozens of woe, a litany of sorrows, but only the truth that struck her. Perhaps those who rallied against her in fact did so with cause. The kid would return victorious indeed, but some believed her to have gone further, to do many a great deed. Alas, that is all for now. Time has slipped away from us as teens. We must hurry home now before the dark settles. The crow leans in uncomfortably close. Wouldn't you want to run into the Violet Witch now, would you? Taking his advice, you return home, head filled with thoughts of the kid. It's nice out today, so you decided to have a picnic. After wandering around for some time, you come across a quaint house with a bell. Just as you begun to wonder what purpose it serves, the bell rings and several children run out and begin to play. A small group of them take notice and subsequently surround you. With their curiosity thoroughly piqued, you have a few ways to proceed. Invite them to join you. Courtesy, introduce yourself properly. What does that mean? Is that something that we can use? No, I don't think that's one of our cards or anything. Let's just have them enjoy it. You've always been good at cooking, and now it's time to show off a little bit. You set your bulging picnic on the ground and open it to display its contents. Several sandwiches, cookies, and various other snacks are laid out one after another. You even had a thermos for some hot tea. The kids are delighted with the spread before them and decide to spend their lunch with you. Sometime later, you hear a yell that signals the end of their lunchtime. They begrudgingly stand and each giving you a big hug. You had to visit again sometime, okay? Bye-bye, mushy lady. It looks like for some reason it glitched out. Let's see if I can kind of fix that. No, looks like it's stuck. You walk away, their kind comments filling you with strength. The night sky is clear and beautiful as you sit on this top a small hill looking up. Something catches your eye and you notice the streak of a shooting star. Quick, make a wish. Wish to grow stronger. Wish for the people that came to have peaceful lives. Wish for the star itself. Wish to stay in good health. Wish to be blessed with delicious food. Wish for it to rain tomorrow. Okay. So, She seems to be very friendly. It looks like it might be better for it to rain tomorrow because it looks like she does need a good soak. This is hard. I don't know what to. I feel like she would want them to be happy, so just live peaceful lives. Not even you really believe in your wish. Oh, fail. You eventually regret not asking for something for yourself. That night you go to bed grumpier than you were when you started. Oh damn, I messed up. The sun is low in the sky, casting a beautiful warm tint across everything you saw. Today is a particularly beautiful sight, blossoming fruit trees and the wind blowing through the grass. Your eyes feel heavy and suddenly you find yourself falling into a deep sleep. In your dreams, you're sitting in a tree on a tree branch. There's a flute playing somewhere. Oh, this is the lady that last time that our last daughter got infatuated with. I haven't seen you around here before. Welcome. Whenever you look at her, it feels like she shifts. You can't quite describe her. So in other words, we're gonna try to memorize this place. You try your best to focus. It's hard to take in the details. You attempt to commit them to memory. You figure that if you remember well, maybe you can come back. It seems like a lovely enough place to visit from time to time. By the time you awake, you can remember it vividly, even the strange woman next to you. That's a memory for another time, though. It's dark and you should be getting home. You feel a crisp breeze. The heat is relentless. Trees are changing color. Fall has arrived. On one particular restless night, you find yourself needing to take a walk. You wander through the crisp autumn air, not paying much attention to your surroundings. It's only time that you nearly walk into a gate that you realize you've ended up in the local town cemetery. Looking through the wrought iron fence, you spot numerous graves, an old grave-covered crypt, and a pond coated with a thin layer of fog. Take a walk along the graves, rest by the pond, check out the crypt. Let's take a walk. As you weave your way through the graves, you start to wonder why humans would build a place like this. Maybe it's to return their bodies to the ground, or maybe it's a way to remember those who have gone. Regardless, you are sure it must be for a good reason. Humans consider their lives precious, so surely their deaths are important to them too. Aww. You leave your home in the later hours of the morning one day, only to sit upon a strange woman not far from your door. It's immediately apparent that she doesn't notice you. Heck, she may not even notice the house that's right there. As it stands, the slender besticular woman has her gaze locked to the sky. She'd be a statue if not for the periodic wave in the hand, settling errant strands of silver back into this messy ponytail. Watching her for a moment, you stand to reason that maybe something's wrong. Plus, she looks harmless enough. Maybe she's worth approaching. Can I help you? Attempt to scare her off. Play it safe. Let's help her. The woman whirls around, cut off guard by your sudden appearance. Oh, I'm sorry, she stammers before catching a good look at you. Oh! My, you're an interesting creature, aren't you? Her inquisitive borders heavily on the familiar, but you let it slide. Are you by any chance the Musume maiden of these woods? I've heard so much about you. It's such a shame I'm pursuing other interests right now. I would love to so much study you. I'm sorry, is that weird? That's weird, right? The woman pushes back a series of stray hairs, smiling sweetly through thin lips, and eyes that glitter like velvet gems. It's almost enthralling. Ah, right then, I should introduce myself. My name's Cecilia. I suppose what you call a scholar of sorts. I study all sorts of creatures, both magical and speculative, ranging from all sorts of humanoid beings or to morphosis energies. My primary field is in the realm of the Fae. Tricky little friends, I tell you what. Lately, I've been trying to uncover traces of this cheeky bugger, a Fae prince by the name Cupid. I don't suppose you've seen a foul-mouthed baby flying around shooting people, have you? Is that a riddle? What do you think the answer to that is? Yeah, what do you think? Cecilia looks around, evidently getting your point. That's fair. Despite what I was told, he doesn't seem to be anywhere in this area. I tell you what, Cecilia hands you a small handbell made of lightning glowing bow. Take this and ring it if you find him. Of course, if you find anything else of interest, I would be thrilled to be notified. Holding the handbill, you give it a light little jiggle, and to your surprise, it rings out spectacularly. We've got a scholar bell. And you know, Cecilia leans close, if you ever like a little studying of your own, well, Cecilia's face begins to turn red and she looks away, hand on your cheek, stifling a giggle. Ah, nothing, don't be a stranger now. With, was that a flirtatious smile? With a grin, she saunters away. You're left feeling, right of feelings, though a single question remains. You're not going to, like, get shot by a baby just walking around, right? Well, aimlessly wandering one day, you decide that the best way to get use of your time would be some scouting. It's always useful to expand your mental map of the area. The country near your house is lush with many diverse landscapes to be found. You decide to head to the north, toward a particular dense forest that's home to a variety of useful plants. As a child, this is where you knew to get medicine plants from, but there was danger there as well. You step into the forest feeling a humid breeze on your fungal cheek. There's an omnipresent buzz of insects pervading the air. The section of forest feels so much different from where you live, and you find it is hard to feel at peace. Despite this, the flora and fauna are resplendent. You find yourself looking from plant to plant. Finally, you find something quite interesting. What the fuck is this? A beautiful large pink flower stands tall in a nearby clearing. The petals are twisted, forming a large sparkling bud that is larger than your head. The single flower is a distinction of the plant, but you observe that the stalk is robust and strangely segmented. It feels like a bit like a monolith. For a moment, you simply stand and stare at it. Something about the strange plant leaves you with a feeling of awe. You suspect that you may be able to sell this flower in the market for quite a pretty penny, or perhaps keep its splendor for yourself. Leave it or pick the flower. There's a reason why there's a note card, but I kind of want to see what happens. In time, if left alone, the flower would eventually die here. When you think about it, there's really no harm in taking it from these woods. Without spending too long in thought, you walk up to the plant, grab the flower by the stem. Oh hell no. And when you do, the flower opens its eye. This understandably gives you quite a shock. You leap back, seeing the flowers unfold in front of your very eyes. It takes a moment of processing to understand, but finally you make the connection. This is not a plant at all, it is a beast. Its eye large, still haloed by the petals that had initially attracted you to being frank. It's hard to entirely understand the shape of its commotion. You do understand that it has a hefty central mass, mossy green, camouflaged in with the stems and stalks. You also come to understand that its body itself is not a solid form, as it splits horizontally down the middle, entirely array of sharp and uneven white stones. Run! And in another second, you understood those are 2 teeth. Before it could make itself even more known to you, you figured it was time to do something. Try to fight, flee. We're not going to be able to fight it, this flea. Simply put, there was absolutely nothing worth sticking around this situation for. You decided it was best to make a plan. Oh shit. You decided it was best to make like a plant monster and leaf. As you start to flee, you realize that these woods are different from those near your home. The plants grow in strange ways that affect your normal woods running strategies. You can hear the creature whistling loudly behind you. Finally, you find your feet. A leap it triumphantly over a small creek, only to fumble your landing on the other side. You stumble to a rocky terrain, then trip. As you fall, you notice something that makes your body feel as if it was submerging in ice water. On the other side of the creek is a small hidden chasm. Beneath you is the inky darkness as far as the eyes can see. Before you are entirely submerged in the abyss, you manage to grab into some roots, but just barely. Pull yourself up. And you find something, anything, oh god, else for you to grab into. Your hold gives way. You scratch the sides of the chasm to no avail. You begin to fall. Ah shit, I fucked up. When you finally land, it is to no comfort, not a comfort. The impact isn't painful, but there's something worse about it. The area surrounding you is dark and cramped. You find that there is not even enough room to stand. You feel around in an attempt to find somewhere you could go, but you are unable to find anything. All you can feel around you is dirt and rock. You are utterly trapped. You try to scream for attention, but the realization dawns on you that you are not only you are far in the that not only are you in the far in the middle of the woods, but also you are deep underground. Over time, you begin to worry that no one will ever find you. You have the nutrients you need to stay alive, but unfortunately, that's all you're doing. You can't help but wonder, if your body was just a little bit more adept in utilizing penicillin, would you still be able to find the strength in the soil you were currently unable to? Shit. Unfortunately, you'll probably never know. Time passes slowly, you have no choice but just to keep waiting, waiting patiently. Damn. You fall into a hole and you'll be waiting there for some time. I feel so bad for Mabel. So this is the end. I feel so bad. I should have done so much better at this one, but I let her die. In other words, that's all I could really do, especially since we failed the roles. But thank you so much for watching. I think I'm gonna go ahead and play it again because it seems like there's a lot of replayability in this game. It seems like there's a lot more girls. Seems like a lot more, well, really just things that you can do in order to improve her. The child. But thank you so much for watching and have a good rest of your day.